Good people, good people. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Gather round, gather round. Witness the memoirs of 5'9" being read as he sees it fit. Police sirens behind him while he's driving instantly causes butterflies in his stomach, even though he's legit.
Now, brothers and sisters, they have not stopped. It's about to hit the fan. What is it? Getting deep in here.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy, Sean Williams. I am your host today for the Positive Male Response here on Blog Talk Radio. I appreciate you having me, letting me bend your ear for a little bit. And I got a heavy topic that I wanted to touch on today. And so if you want to join in the conversation, by all means, call in. The number you can dial in is 516-595-8311. That's 516-595-8311. Again, this is your boy, Sean Williams. I'm a member of Zeta Zayas, and I'm just going to bend your ear a little bit. And the topic that I kind of wanted to get into is kind of near and dear to me because lately I've had the pleasantry of being able to spend a little quality time with my kids. I have two boys, and I coach youth football and youth basketball. And seeing them play and hang out and do some of the things. But one thing is certain, and it's upsetting, is that they are facing the current issues that black adults are fighting today are being carried out within them in their play. And those things are like colorism, teasing about blackness, masculinity, expression. Those things are being carried out on a micro level. And so sadly, I begin to fear that there isn't anyone out there encouraging these young black men or these young brothers or these young sisters to do more and help them out more socially. And if we don't, then the cycle is going to continue. So today I wanted to talk about, give about 10 things, 10 words of wisdom that we can give our black youth right now. Again, if you wanted to dial in, jump in on this conversation, you can dial in at 516-595-8311. It looks like somebody's already hopped on already. Let me see who this is. 1 second. Caller, you live.
Hey, what's going on, Sean?
What's going on, brother?
This is E.J. Mayers, man.
E.J. Mayers, I appreciate you calling in, sir.
I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Man, and it takes brothers like this to kind of come together and move the culture forward. And so I appreciate you calling in and at any time chime in on some of the discussion. So like I said, I have 10 things, 10 words of wisdom that I want to give our black youth right now today, and I think it's going to be some jewels for them. You ready?
Hey man, I'm excited to hear it, brother.
All right. So let's jump right in. So the first thing I wanted to say, the first jewel that I wanted to give is you are entering into a world of prejudice, but you can still redefine yourself. All right? So let's already let them know what they're stepping into. Let's not allow them to be blinded and expose them to some of the unpleasantries that they may run into. Racism exists. Prejudice are still prominent, However, those disappointments are not too harsh for one to tear down those stereotypes. We can still tear down those stereotypes. We don't have to feed into, these prejudice, these things that people are already prejudging us about. You already are labeled when you walk out the door. Know that. And so don't feed into that vibe and to that energy. The black youth, they must know that just because society has their phony statistics and expectations of how they will turn out, that doesn't mean that they have to fit the bill. So the number one thing that we have to do, and the number one thing I want to tell these young brothers, is that you are entering into a world of prejudice and prejudgment, but you don't have to allow that to redefine you. What's your take on that, Brother E?
I totally agree, man. One of my favorite rappers of all time, Jay-Z, man, said it best in my opinion. He said, "Man, nobody's built like you. You define yourself. You design yourself. I'm sorry. Nobody's built like you. You design yourself. We're all self-designed, So we don't have to fulfill anybody else's prophecies over our lives. We got to be us. Period. Walk out here, decide who you want to be, and then be that." Somebody else's prejudice doesn't define you. Find ways around that. If a black man can become president of the United States, you can become anything that you want to be. Absolutely anything.
Totally agree. I appreciate that. So, again, if you want to jump in on this conversation, guys, by any means, by all means, call us. We'll be willing to talk to you. Open for discussion. Nothing is left off the table. The number is 516-595-8311. All right, so that was good discussion, and we have a short period of time. I'm going to be in the air for about 30 minutes, so I'm going to move through this list a little bit. But the second thing that I want to get into, and I think this is something that I know you can definitely touch on, given your expertise, Brother Eric, is don't ever let anyone question your blackness. It's not their right. Don't ever let anyone question your blackness. It is not their right. Whether you're rich or poor, preppy or autistic, your blackness isn't going anywhere.
I agree.
Race in many ways is a social construct, and black youth must learn very early that that they may encounter these things based off of the color of their skin. And oftentimes they take it personally because they think it's an attack on them personally. You know? So we have to encourage them that, you know, again, going back to the first topic, you know, you're stepping into a whole world that was already manifested before you. You already are labeled, you know? But don't let anyone ever question who you are or have you changed who you are and how you perceive and how you present yourself because of your color, you know, because of your minority race, you know. It ain't their right. It's not their place to speak on that. You know, if one chooses to use proper grammar or choose to listen to hip hop, you know, one isn't less black than the other. You know,
I agree.
And so,
I agree.
And when I say that, you know, I'm talking to these kids because again, I'm hearing the conversations, I'm hearing what's being said, and you know, oh, you're not cool, you're not down, and all these things because the fact that you may not listen to hip hop or because you may dress a certain way. So we got to encourage these kids. We got callers coming in. I want to see what they have to say as well. Maybe they don't have anything to say at the moment, but you know, by any means, jump in when you have anything that you want to say. But getting back to it, yeah. So you know, I'm hearing these things, and I want to tell that young brother, like, hey man, you know, don't ever let anybody tell you that you are any more black than them because you don't do the things that they do, or listen to the things that they listen to, or wear the things that they wear. Don't ever let anyone.
Man, I hear something so deep, right. John, is that blackness is not a competition. Nah. You know, being blacker than somebody else is not a competition.
But unfortunately, we make it one from on every level. We make it a competition. That's why we can't build together. You know, because we're always in competition with the next black man.
Sean,
well,
I think that's. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Miss Worth It.
Hey, Miss Worth It.
Chiming in today. How y'all doing?
Hey,
we're doing well. We're doing well. Thank you for calling.
Yes, and about your comment, as both of you gentlemen were just now communicating on that topic, it is true that, you know, we have to be secure in who we are, whether you're black, white, whatever. We have to make sure that our young men today understand that who they are is very powerful. They were created in a very unique form, and so therefore it doesn't matter whether you're a black, white, Indian, Hispanic, or if you're black, light-skinned, dark-skinned, because as you stated, Sean, there is a competition out here. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be, but there is, and it has always been one. At one point, you know, the dark-skinned guys, it was, you know, dark-skinned females and dark-skinned guys. The light-skinned brothers and sisters looked down upon them, and then there was a season where it flipped the script. And we have to come to a place in life of understanding that we, you know, and me, myself, as a Christian, we were created in the likeness of Christ. And with that being said, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin. It really matters about what is really on the inside of you. What is your makeup in your heart, your mind, your soul. So if you walk around feeling that someone because of their color of their skin is less than you, then, yeah, you're going to have that problem. One of the things my father taught me very early in my life, at about 6, 7 years old, I remember, and he constantly said this to me. He would say that and I was real light when I was younger, you know, and he would say no matter what the color of your skin is, you're light skinned, but you're beautiful. You have lips that are formed that are just God-given. Like, he would define every part of my face when he talked to me. Your eyes are beautiful. Your cheekbones are high. There's no one better than you, and you are no better than anybody else. You were just uniquely developed and shaped in a certain way. And so I took that and I ran with it. So I never looked down on a dark-skinned chick or another light-skinned chick. And we have to input that in our young men as they are coming up. We have to make sure we help them to define who they are and to stand firm in that. But one thing we got to put in them is not to look down on nobody else either. I don't care how much money you have, how much power you have. I don't care about your titles, tags, or position. None of that make you better than me. I'll stand next to Oprah. She's not better than me. She just has more money than me right now.
You know what, Ms. Worthy? And I'm glad you said that. You know why I'm glad you said that? You just led me right into my next point. So I don't know if you were in my head already, you know, but you led me to my next point. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, and it's kind of getting a little heavy. I love it. But my next point is this. Success, this is point number 3. I don't know if anyone's taking notes or anything, but point number 3 is success is not only through fame and fortune, but hard work and integrity. Success is not only through through fame and fortune, but hard work and integrity. Being rich or having nice things isn't necessarily success. It's material wealth. I remember having a conversation with my cousin Gary. He's the VP of the chairman of A to Z, and we talk often. And this is one of the things that he believes wholeheartedly. You know, being rich or having riches or having nice things is not necessarily success. That's material wealth. Although those things may come as a result of hard work, it doesn't happen all the time and does not have to be successful. So we have to ask these young men, you know, what is success to you? Your success will be defined by your vision and your ideas and your insight. And I think somebody else might have something to say about that. I think somebody else is calling in right now. Hold on one second. Carter, you're live. Maybe they may not. Maybe they want to jump in a little later. But if you do, if anybody
let me touch on that, Sean. Let me touch on that.
Go ahead, yeah.
Let me touch on that. Hey, man, a lot of people don't understand even the definition of the word success. And success literally means, I'm talking about the etymology of the word, it means what comes after. So like you said, man, it's what comes after integrity, what comes after hard work. It's what comes after. That's what success is, as in the word successor, the person who comes after you. You know, success is what comes after what you put in. It's not the wealth. You know, it's what comes after the work. So success is who you become, not what you have.
That's exactly right. And you know what? And I want to chime in on that because I stand firm in believing not only am I still right in this moment a very successful woman, but I have always been, when I became a woman of wisdom, I knew that I was beginning to walk into success because I make wise choices. And I do things that not only benefit me, it benefits others. And to top it off, last night, one of my sons, and I consider him a son through Christ because he was given to me by another mother, and I partially raised him. He texted me last night to share with me, and I'm going to share this real quick. I know your time is limited, but he told me, he said, I pray for a queen like you. You have the authority to take whatever you want. He said, people submit to you because you have so much strength, Mama. You are the epitome of a black woman and a black power. You are a jewel to my crown. When I found you through my brother Zayas Joaquin Barnett, I had never met a woman like you. He goes on to say, I never met a woman like you, able to control your emotions in a room without being loud, but knowing who you are and what you need, you are a remarkable woman. Let me catch up. You are a remarkable woman, irreplaceable, irrefutable, and infallible. I love you and worship you and your essence. You are earth, good ground. See that right there? And this is, and I had to post that on Facebook, and when I posted, I said, see, God has let me know. I don't need to speak on me, my accomplishments, my victories, or my successes, because all that I am and all that I do is because of God and his glory. Therefore, he has shown me that others will see him in me, and they'll speak on it. And that right there let me know that I stand still a very powerful and successful woman. And that's what we got to go back and teach them young boys. We have to teach them. It's not about the type of sneakers that you wear, whether they cost $200 or your belt being Michael Kors. It's not about that. It's more than that. It's about your character. It's about your integrity. It's about what comes out of your heart that matters. So that's success.
Man, powerful. Dropping jewels here,
truth.
We dropping jewels, and the thing about it is, these are very much things that we have to share. Not only just with our youth, though, Miss Worth It. Everybody needs to hear this, because everybody is so cued by societal gains and things of that nature. That's a whole another subject that we may need to get into later. But if anybody wants to jump in on this conversation, call us 516-595-8311. You are definitely listening to Blog Talk Radio, Positive Male Response. And this topic today is got to know the got to knows. You have to know these things, young brother, young sister, young man, young woman. You have to know these things. So just kind of feeding off what we were doing. Did you have anything else you wanted to say on that one, Brother Eric?
Nah, man. I'm going to let you keep it rolling, man. Keep it moving. I'm loving it. Drop jewels, baby.
Yeah. Drop some jewels. So here's the next thing. Now that kind of spins off into the next topic, okay? And the next thing is, although athletes and entertainers are pretty much in the forefront positioned in the forefront of our minds and the young male and young woman's mind, athletes and entertainers are not the only aspiring role models. Search other mentors in your community and elsewhere. All right. So for every young girl who wants to be like Beyonce, or every young boy who aspires to be like LeBron James, we should also challenge them to aspire outside the box. Although these individuals are famous and have done some noteworthy things, our youth must also be able to see themselves as talented outside the court and the stage, because moreover, these various fields, there's various fields of service, innovation, community endeavors, all invoke change. They invoke change. These other figures, and not to knock them down or not to take anything away from their successes or the noteworthy things, but that's entertainment. Aspire behind someone who is creating change or invoking change or doing something positive in your community.
Exactly. And Sean, when we have to start this at home, because look, these kids, you don't know what goes on with Beyonce for real, or Jay-Z, or Wale, or any of these people. You only see what goes on television. But there's a lady that lives on the corner of your block, okay? And you can see her every day. And you may see her getting in her car, going to work and coming home. You need to find, if you feel like you got to have a role model outside of your parents and your siblings, because I'm telling you, anybody who know my children, especially my sons, I'm their role model. I'm going to be my own children's role model. But if you need somebody outside of the home that you want to look up to, you need to look up to somebody that you can feel, somebody that you can stand right in their face and talk to, somebody that you can touch, you can shake their hand. Because what you see on TV, you don't really know them people. You just know what the illusion. That's what you got. That's Grace Savant word. It's an illusion of a thing. Okay, the brother said, don't be misled by the illusion of a thing. You need these young men, and yes, it is for young girls, but I always stick to that, being the president of Justice from A to Z, and we're chiming in on how to create an atmosphere of a positive role for our black males, and any males, really. I want to, and here's my reason why I stick with the males, fellas. My reason for that is, yes, it was my son that really promoted this, but also, until my brothers, until my males can rise up to be the kings that you were created to be, look, I got to keep working because I need you all to be in a place to lead because that's what you was created to do. So we need to let our young brothers know you need a role model like a Sean Williams, somebody you can really reach out to. And that means that a Sean Williams, that means Eric, that means Gary, that means you guys also got to be reachable. Okay? Mm-hmm. You got to be available because I can guarantee you, they can sit and hoop and holler and all this about Jay-Z and Wale, but they're not available for all the kids in the neighborhood, y'all.
Yeah, right.
We need brothers to be available.
You got some notable individuals right here in your community that are doing things right here in your community. So I'm gonna tell you what.
Sean, let me touch on that, man. Dude, I was looking for a mentor growing up in Huntsville, Alabama, and I found mine in the barber shop. The shop owner was my mentor.
Come on now.
You know, and I had let me tell you this, man. I had nothing to do with the hair industry. However, this man took me under the wing and said, "Man, what do you want to do? What do you want to be?" I told him I wanted to be a business owner. He said, "I'm a business owner. Let me show you how to do it." And I worked with him for over 4 years, and he worked with me on my first business, an indoor advertising business that he had no experience in. However, he knew business. So I found a mentor right there and somebody that was a non-traditional mentor, but yet and still he had the wherewithal to touch a young brother and say, listen, hey, I've been almost to the mountain. I've almost been a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire? I'll show you what I know. And then as far as I can get. So, man, touch somebody that you can reach, you know? Like, don't go beyond that, you know? Back to you, yo.
No, I'm loving it. And people that come jumping in, it sounds like they want to jump in the conversation and calling in and leaving. Hey guys, don't be scared of it. Call in, talk to us. You know, we have an open discussion. Don't be scared of it. You know what I mean? Miss Worthy dropping jewels, Mr. Myers dropping jewels. You know, so hey, don't be scared of it. So I'm gonna bring up this next one. This is number 5 here, right? And I believe just kind of looking at our time, we may have to go into a part 2. Because I believe this topic is going to spill over into the remainder of the show. Okay, so this 5th one is going to spill over. We may have to create a part 2. You guys willing to join me on part 2 at a later date?
I'm all in. I'm all in.
Okay, I love it. So here it is. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Boys, it's okay to express your emotion.
Come on now.
It's okay to exercise independence. Our brothers can cry and still grow to be a man. It's a scientific fact. Our girls don't always have to need a man to save them. That's a proven fact. Oppressive gender roles and norms in our community start early, and our black youth should be encouraged to step out, or not even just our black youth, our youth peers should be encouraged to step out of those negative constructs, and in order to be relevant and mentally secure. And the reason I say that, I'm watching. Again, I've had the pleasantry of coaching and mentoring and being in the role of a mentorship and seeing and just observing. And I think we're leading these kids wrong. I think we're telling them the wrong things. And we're doing it based off of what's been either taught to us or that is being systematically, don't let me get started there, systematically infiltrated into our community.
Right.
It's okay, young man, to express your emotion. But what do? We teach them about how and when and so forth. We don't need to tell them, no, you can't. You know, you should.
One thing, Mr. Sean, one thing, fathers need to stop telling their boys, don't be crying, because only punks cry, because that's a lie. A real man will cry when he needs to, okay? And a real woman do not want a man who cannot express his emotions. I don't need you walking around act like you don't hurt, because then you're not real. I need a real, because even Jesus wept. Don't you know that wept mean he cried? Okay,
wow.
so if you can't cry when you need to, then that just shows me that you're artificial. You're not real. And I don't need that. So, yes, men, stop telling your boys when they fall down, don't be crying like no sissy. You don't know. Look, there are times I have fell, hit myself, and I want to cry, cuss, and everything else. So you can't tell somebody it doesn't hurt. We have to, like you said, definitely, young males, if you're listening, know how to express your emotions, because that also puts you in the category of knowing how to talk and really express yourself. Okay?
This part of the conversation can go forever on that topic alone.
Yeah,
expressing your emotions.
Exactly.
That's what gets us in so much trouble now. That's what gets us in the positions we're in now, controlling our emotions. But I posed the question, and we kind of chopped it down on time, but I posed the question to the both of you. But, Brother Eric, I'm going to pose it directly to you right now. Where do you think this comes from, of the notion that, oh, you shouldn't cry, oh, you shouldn't express your emotions in that way? Where do we as men get off saying this to our young brothers? Where does that come from?
Well, I think that it came from, the macho man type of culture that's been developed in the United States. For the most part, we've been looked at as, man, in order to be a strong man, in order to be the alpha male, you can't cry. And ultimately, everybody wants to be the alpha male. And we begin to forget that, the alpha male has a responsibility to everybody that the alpha male leads. And in order to lead properly, you must have some type of empathy towards the people that you lead. It is a responsibility of the leader to be connected to everyone. And as a matter of fact, just quoting the Bible, for instance, again, it is the least amongst you that will lead the people. Like, ultimately, the leader has to be a servant as well. In order to serve, you got to be in touch. You got to be in touch with your emotions. You have to be in touch with the other person. You have to be, listen, it's okay to say, man, that you're hurt. It's okay to say that you're broken. It's okay to say that, because that's where healing starts. If you're going to go down a road right now, you don't say that, man, I'm starting from Atlanta, Georgia, and you're actually in Huntsville, Alabama. You'll never get to your destination. You have to be true to who you are, where you are right now, and you have to be real. And sometimes, man, we can't touch exactly where we are. We can't speak on exactly where we are, and therefore we're starting from a false reality.
That's right.
That's why we're lost right now. If we want to be found, we have to be truthful with where we are. And it starts with being truthful with ourselves and say, hey, you know what? Wait a minute. I was hurt by my dad not being there. Wait a minute. I was hurt by my mom giving me up for adoption. Wait a minute. I was hurt by this circumstance or that circumstance. We have to be real with it and say, man, you know what? Let me touch on it and say, okay, I cried for this minute. I hurt this minute. And guess what? I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take the first step. I don't need to see the whole
because if you don't deal with
I just need to take the first step.
Eric, because if you don't deal with the past hurts that you've been in, then you'll never be healed. So we have to come out of the closet. We want to talk about homosexuality coming out of the closet. We have to come out of the closet with the things that have caused us pain in our life, and that's what men have to take a stand with. Ladies have stepped up to deal with the pain of the past, and brothers, y'all have to step up and deal with it as well.
All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you guys chiming in. I think we definitely need to have a follow-up conversation about this at a later date. People are still calling in, but we're actually, unfortunately, we're about to wrap this up for today. I appreciate you coming through, Ms. Worthit. I appreciate you coming through, Mr. Eric Mayers. Love your participation. And, hey, you guys stay tuned for the next situation. We're going to follow up with the rest of these topics. Be good.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.